So the other day I was thinking back to a time where I kind of had no clue what I was doing. I felt like the market was against me. Every time I placed a short, I felt like the market or my broker would go long. You know, I was so frustrated at this point in my journey where I was almost ready to just throw in the towel and give up. Now, if this sounds kind of familiar to you or something similar, then I'm going to share my own personal experiences and strategies on how I was able to overcome this feeling and to be able to dissolve down the feelings of not being confident to trade. I've been trading for just under 3 years now, and I'm still early in the process, and I can definitely say that confidence is a key backbone to becoming a successful trader. So to just kick things off, I want to ask you guys, where do you think a lack of confidence comes from? You know, pause the video, whatever, write it down. Just think to yourself, like, where do you think your lack of confidence in trading comes from? You know, I can promise you and say from bad experiences, poor mentors, using signal services, unconscious bad habits, whatever it may be. It may even just be a lack of awareness. Just think to yourself, where do you think it's come from? It's going to be really subjective from person to person. Now, I want to flip the script and ask you guys, where do you think confidence comes from? Again, just reflect on where do you think that comes from? Now, if you were to ask me where I think confidence comes from, I would say that confidence comes from competence and good trading processes, followed by inner market experience, patience, and discipline, which turns those processes into good, positive trading habits. Now, that kind of sounds like a mouthful, so we're going to break it down. I want to start off with the competence side, and this really helps me once I learned the 4 stages of learning. When I learned that and I understood the bigger picture, I was able to sort of get my mindset out of this sort of atomic level thinking and to be able to look at where I was in my journey at a bird's eye level. Now, I'm going to put up on the screen, but essentially there's 4 stages of learning. You have the unconscious incompetence, where there's a skill that you barely know. Think of yourself before you even know you knew how to trade. The second stage was conscious incompetence. Now you're aware of there's such thing called trading, or it's like you're aware that people drive. So it's almost thinking that I know that I don't know how to do this just yet. Third stage is where a lot of us are, and a lot of us are when we're learning a new skill. That is conscious competence. So that might be you learning how to drive a car, and it's just like the beginning stages. Again, if you're learning how to trade, trading is just like any other skill, like driving a car, playing football, learning the guitar. That requires some sort of conscious effort to trade, to execute, to perform. And the 4th and final stage is unconscious competence, and that's sort of like the place where we're all trying to aim, where we sort of execute from our plan without even like having to hesitate or second guess. And hesitation, second guessing yourself, all of these things come from that lack of confidence in trading. Now you might be thinking, why is this relevant to trading and confidence? Well, it's mostly just a means and understanding and a seed being planted in your head to get you thinking bigger picture and to get you out of such low level thinking, and to really just light a fire to know that there is a stage 4, and there is going to be a stage ultimately, and always will be a stage, where you're going to be able to trade out of pure bliss and just higher level consciousness and awareness to trade. So moving on to some mindset tips, I wanted to give you guys 3 sort of main mindset tips. So first one is reframing losses. Now, every time you take a loss, how do you feel? What goes through your mindset? How aware are you of your emotions, your thinking, and your mental talk? I think a lot of people who are not confident in trading, they're not confident to take their trades, is because they have a fear of losses. And I think it really just stems down to reframing your losses and putting conscious effort to reframe it. Losses are gonna always be a part of trading. You know, you can have the most perfect setup, the most high probability setup that you know plays out 80% of the time, but of course that 20% will still come through, and that perfect setup may still even result into a 1% loss. But then it's how you manage it. Being a confident and successful trader, you're able to manage how you reframe those losses. So you can either be really bummed out, or you can see that as a lesson, a way to go back to the drawing board to be able to understand, you know, how could you have improved? And you know, it might be again like the most perfect setup, but then that's just the cost of business. It's one of those things that you sort of just smile and move on. And I think that awareness, to be able to consciously do that throughout your trading market experience, then that's going to really help to elevate you and come out of this negative cycle when you go through losses or even wins. Now that leads on to my second mindset tip, which is to note down your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself? What's your chimp mind or your brain telling you when you're taking these trades, when you're forecasting, when you're backtesting? You know, are you talking yourself out of trades? Are you talking yourself in trades? Is it negative? Is it positive? Is it something that serves you, or is it something that doesn't serve you? Or are you not even aware of what you've been telling yourself in your mind? Early in my trading journey, my mentor always went on about, you know, noting down your self-language, your self-talk for 7 days to keep a journal, and you'll be literally astonished at what you've been telling yourself when you take trades, when you take a loss, when you take a win. The 10 seconds before you place a trade, what's going through your mind? How are you feeling? Are you overly excited? Are you doubting yourself? And that's going to really help you pinpoint where this lack of confidence comes from, and ultimately helps you gain awareness and shine a light into what's been unconscious. And the third tip I would say is to focus on the process. I think when you become too outcome driven, outcome focused, you're putting, is this going to be a win or a loss, again on a pedestal. And I can vouch for this. Early in my journey, when I was really outcome driven, that's when you allow yourself to be exposed to become more emotional, rather than to just focus on the process and to just focus on executing from a profitable plan. And that's why I say focus on the process, focus on things that are actually going to serve you in your trading, that's actually going to help you become more confident, such as backtesting your plan, forecasting your trades beforehand, and being able to journal and review your trades every single week. And just to close off of this sort of mindset side of things, you can't just focus on confidence in trading, you also have to focus on confidence in other areas of your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. You can't just be confident in trading and then not be confident in your friendship groups or in yourself. Sometimes the lack of confidence in trading is actually something deeper, and it could actually be telling you that there's another area that you need to work on as well. I shared earlier in the year about having to leave a trading community, and I kind of felt like I lost confidence in my trading, and that was actually a big signal that I was losing confidence in the actual strategy that I was trading and the community that I was in and the people that I was around, and so that is a big lesson that I wanted to share with you guys, is that don't just focus again on, I know I shared things about the losses and the actual trading plan and strategy, but it could, again, think bigger picture. What else could it be? Could it be who you're listening to, what you're watching? Are you on social media too much? Is that kind of like pulling you down? So I just wanted to put that in there, that you got to work on confidence outside of trading and in your life, in your relationships, in yourself, in how you conduct yourself and how you compose yourself, your emotional intelligence outside of trading as well. That's just as important. Now moving on to technical tips, of course I'm going to mention backtesting. Backtesting is essentially the brain gym, I would say, for trading, for confidence, for being able to spot your go-to setups, trade your plan, be able to not hesitate, and ultimately obviously have confidence. Essentially how I would explain backtesting and how it helps confidence is it's ultimately training your reticular activating system, which is your RAS, and that's the thing that sort of filters things in your view, all the BS that you're not interested in. So if I asked you to look for things that are blue around you right now, you will literally have to filter out all the other colors, all the other items that are not blue, to focus on the only blue thing. That's your RAS sort of helping you to filter out, again, the noise, the crap, to help you look for something that's blue. And in trading, that translates to being able to spot your setups, to be able to, recognize patterns, zones, support, resistance, whatever you may trade. That RAS in your brain is helping you to find that. And the more you can find it quicker, the more you can find it without having to think, then the better that's going to serve you for trading, and that's going to help you become more confident when you have to place a trade or have to execute from your plan. So that's how backtesting would help. It's basically a bicep curl for your RAS, for your brain, for your emotions as well. When you see your trade plan and your setup over and over and over and over again, and you know it's profitable, and you know you're making however much percentage, or you know that this pattern works, or you know that a break and retest of a certain structure or from a certain pair works, you will of course naturally become more confident. Now moving on to my second technical tip, that is to create a system or a process to help you track your trading performance, your backtesting, your forecasting, etc, etc. I find that being able to observe and see sort of the data in a bigger picture format actually helps your confidence a lot, knowing that you've been through your wins, you've been through your losses, but at the end of the year you're profitable. That could be 5%, 10%, 100%, 500%, whatever it may be. But being able to have that system to take down data, to be able to cast your net wide and gather as much data when you're backtesting, then plug it into a place where you can analyze where you went right, where you went wrong, and just see the bigger picture, knowing that, okay, I've had a slower month, a slower quarter, but that's not going to determine how well I do over the course of the year. That gives you confidence in your plan, in yourself, in your strategy that you trade. Again, you want to think longevity, sustainability, efficiency, and long term. We're not here to just trade to make as much as we can in like a week. We're here to learn, to become better traders over the course of the rest of our lives, really. Trading is a lifelong skill. It requires a lot of mental discipline, persistence, again, self-awareness. So if you want to be in that category, then I would highly suggest to definitely track your progress, to see bigger picture. You know, I've had losing days, I've had losing weeks, I've had losing months, I've had losing quarters, but can I withstand through that? Yes, because I'm confident in my plan, because I've backtested it, and I know I'm confident because I know at the end of the year, I will be profitable. So even if I had that losing quarter, maybe the next quarter, that's where things will kick up. And again, this is always going to be backed by hard work and some sort of execution. But ultimately, again, it boils down to those processes that you set yourself, and then that ultimately turning into good habits from in-market experience, patience, and discipline. If you guys wanted to see how I'm tracking my progress, my ASR, my backtesting, my journaling, then go to the top right. I don't know where it is on the thing, but go check it out. I've linked up my Notions template. It's free, so you can check that out if you guys want to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys found something valuable from this video, then I hope you subscribe, like the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.